Hey, on this episode of Samp and Chance, guys, breaking news today, WWE has signed a new deal to show Raw. Where? Well, you got to listen to the show to find out. Also, last night marked the 1600th episode of Raw, which also marked the go-home show to the Royal Rumble. We'll get into all of that as well. We'll make our predictions on the show today as well for the Royal Rumble. So, guys, strap in and thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of SAMP&CHANCE Wrestling. Happy Tuesday. I am joined here with my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance, Michael's Chance. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. It's Tuesday. I woke up to some amazing news, but the first thing I want to ask, what shirt is that today?
It's a Muay Thai shirt. My Muay Thai coach bought it back for me from Thailand about 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh,
So,
okay. It looks like the video game cover for Yakuza.
yeah, no, it's the shirt from Thailand. I don't know. It's the Muay Thai guy, I guess.
Cool.
Yeah,
I
not
just wanted to
sure.
ask you about that. It's one of my favorite video games. It's actually a new
Never heard of it.
Yakuza. It's basically it's been around since PlayStation 2, I guess.
What is it? A fighting game like Street Fighter?
No, it's like God of War, Uncharted. You're
Oh, okay. More like
basically
okay. I see what you mean.
yeah, you're an old Yakuza guy who's kind of brought back into the mix. You've retired, sort of a deal, and unfortunately, kind of like John Wick, right? The guy says, "Hey, I'm done," and then
Yeah,
some silly guy comes and does something silly to him, and then brings him back into the game, and then I guess 7 video games later, he's still kind of trying to find his way out of it. But I've always enjoyed the series. I thought it was a fun game to play. I think number 7's being released shortly, so should be interesting.
the thing is, some of these new games, like they got better technology and they got better maps and stuff, but they're not as fun. They're more complicated. They're not as fun. It's a lot more that goes with it. I that's what I find. So while we're talking about video games, here's a question for you. It's like Pepsi and Coke. Which fighting game do you prefer, Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
Which
Like
one do you prefer?
me, I think just from nostalgia standpoint, I'd have to go Street Fighter because that was the
Yeah,
one that was out first, and then Mortal
yeah,
Kombat kind of came out after the fact. But because when Mortal Kombat came out, the graphics were just so much better.
they
Like
were.
just to even start, like at the very opening level that they brought out. So, I mean, but that being said, Mortal Kombat is a much tougher game to play,
Yeah, well, the moves are way harder. The finishing and
right?
finishers or
I
whatever.
think the reverse effect of what you said would probably be the GTA series. I thought that game got easier to play
Did
with
it?
every
Okay.
rendition that came out. Um, between number 4, like I still haven't finished
I never
GTA
played any of
4.
those Grand Theft Auto games before, so I don't know what they're like.
Well, I've played them all, and like I've never been like I don't know. For me, I've never been like I like football. I like the sports games, the racing
Mhm.
games. But in terms of games, those are the kind of games I like: Uncharted, God of War, GTA type of style.
Yeah.
But with GTA, I found that number 4 was unbearable.
Was it?
It was because it's like, okay, for example, say you die,
Hmm.
instead of starting from a certain point, you literally have to start right from the get go again, like from the
Oh,
cut,
they're making it tough. Yeah.
right? So it's kind of like you get stuck in this one spot, and you're like, it's
You're
just
stuck.
impossible. One mission in particular stands out. You go see the girl, she tells you where to go. It takes about almost 10 minutes to get there.
Wow.
And then once you get there, you end up dying almost instantaneously, like the first time. Then the
Oh,
second
okay.
time you go, okay, I got to come in a little bit slower. And third time, fourth time, fifth time, it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And then there's that frustration kicks in, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I know
hey,
it's pretty amazing what they can do with these games and the maps and the graphics. Like, I never played Grand Theft Auto, but yeah, I've heard good things about it.
we got Little Miss a Switch for Christmas, and I've tried playing that Mario. I never had Mario growing up. Like my parents never bought video games for us growing up as kids, right? So the
Okay.
first video game system I ever had was a PlayStation 1, which I bought saving my own money.
Yeah.
So, I bless thank you, mom and dad, for not giving me video games at an earlier age. But anyways, I tried out that Mario, and even though it's a simple just across the thing, you're just going one direction.
Yeah.
But it's still hard, man. That game's tough. Like,
Yeah. Switch is the number one selling system of all time.
It can be
By
good.
far, it's doubled or tripled anything Xbox plays. It's killed it.
No, you know what? And it can be a good thing, but it can also be a detrimental thing. I think it's up to us as parents to decide how we,
Yeah.
work it out. And it shocks me to say those words because a lot of the things that I am doing with the little one now is a lot of the stuff that my parents did with me, which I hated. So go figure, eh? It's full circle.
Yeah. Exactly.
Talking about full circles, man. Let's get right into it. This morning, I woke up with the alert that TKO WWE has signed a new deal for 2025. Where and who? Monday Night Raw will be now on Netflix starting in 2025. $50 billion deal over 10 years, which works out to about 500 million a year. Now, here's the thing before I get you in on this. It's worth 10 years, but Netflix has an opt-out clause at 5 years if they want to.
Yeah.
On top of that, they can extend it for another 10. So we could potentially see 5, 10, or even 20 years of this deal. Your thoughts on it?
Brilliant. Brilliant. All done by Vinnie Mac, who he probably had some help with Ari Emanuel, but Vinnie Mac spearheaded this. He was in charge of getting the media rights deal done, and it's genius. He was always ahead of his time. He brought the network to streaming before anybody was really into the streaming. So he's always ahead of his time, and I think it's a great idea. Like I said, cable's dying off, especially the younger generation. Not so much us, our age, we used to watch the cable, but most people are streaming. Most people don't even have cable anymore. They got just Netflix and Amazon or Disney or whatever. All smart TVs. Everybody has a smart TV. I don't think anybody doesn't have a smart TV on the age of 70 anymore. It's brilliant. You can watch it on your phone, on the app. You can watch it on your tablet, your TV, your hotel room. You plug the stick in. It's going to be everywhere. You have more access to Raw now, and you'll be able to go back and watch it. It'll be saved on your Netflix, I don't know how long they'll keep the Raw episodes up, if they'll keep everyone. I'm not sure all that, but I think it's awesome and it's great. And he's always moving forward and he's always ahead of his time. And it's great. I love it.
Yeah, no, I have no problem with it. Also, I guess some of the things I'm wondering is like, okay, so you buy the Netflix subscription. How's this going to work now? Are they going to
buy the subscription? Raw's is still
right. But here's the thing: are they going to have commercials now?
Yeah, they'll still have to work. That's probably. I'm not sure on that though.
See, this is where I'm kind of thinking, like, you think, okay, I'm getting a streaming service. The reason I'm getting this is because I don't want to watch commercials. I don't want to do that anymore. That's the reason a lot of people get onto these services, correct?
Yeah.
With programs like live programming, like Raw and things like that, are they going to include commercials? Does that affect the? I mean, these are just the thoughts.
Because even Daz and even now, when you log on to watch it, just turn it on. You're gonna watch boxing or wrestling, whatever they have on there. Soccer, you got to watch like 3 or 4 ads before it gets on now. So that's going to happen here too. Kind of like maybe like a YouTube, you'll have random ads pop up. You're going to have to skip them, something along those lines. But
well, on DAZN, I mean, it's not so much that I can understand the commercials before you go on. Prime does that as well before you start a movie. They're promoting their own stuff. I think it's more so like DAZN, for example, when you watch NFL Sunday Ticket off of there, they're basically picking up, depending where you are in the world, like
the feed,
they're picking up the Canadian feed, right, for these games. So you still get all the adverts that you would if you were watching it on regular television.
Yeah.
Is the same going to apply? And does that affect the cost that will go forward? I guess we'll find all this out. They have a year to kind of put it all together. I'm also hearing that other events will be on Netflix as well. I don't know about SmackDown or NXT, but I'm hearing the premium live events might be being shown on there as well. So they're moving away from Peacock, which is interesting. So,
I'm assuming only because Netflix offered more money. I'm sure Peacock have the same chance to do the same thing, but you got to remember, we don't get Peacock in Canada.
No,
Netflix worldwide, so they're also that took into consideration too, right? And I think it's a good deal. Everything's streaming now. It's the way of the future. You can't stop it.
I have no problem with the chance. Honestly, I've accepted it. I mean, from day one, whatever Vince does, not everything turns to gold, obviously, but a lot of it, comes to
pretty damn close.
Right. So, from that perspective, all you can kind of do is just kind of grin and bear it and accept it. I guess the only thing I'm wondering about now is if they go to Netflix, are they going to start charging us for pay-per-views as well?
Yeah,
sure. Additional pay-per-view,
it says it in the title, pay-per-view, you'll pay for that.
Well, they call it premium live events, PLEs, right? But I mean, they've kind of gone
away. The network
will
still be there. You can still get the stuff for free on the network, I'm assuming. So
I'm just curious. I'm seeing how it's all because if like you said, Netflix has a global pull. It's everywhere. right?
everywhere. Anywhere you
Like,
want
I
to watch it.
mean, you think about it, you go like to a country like Malaysia, you can get it off of one of their islands.
Yep.
You know, even if you're off the mainland, you can get from Netflix now, right?
Mhm.
So, okay, we got that. That's what the day
I'm
started.
happy with it. I think it's good. It's the way of the future. It's like CDs. I still like CDs, but you can't find CDs anymore unless you go like old record shop. It's just the way of the future. Everything's streaming.
No, I get
Everything's
it. I get it. I totally understand. And it's kind of like I was having a conversation.
Tony Khan's right thinking, damn, Vinny again. This old man keeps one up on me. Everything I do, he's always ahead of you. Vince is always 3 moves ahead. These guys are goofing around. He's always thinking ahead. He's a global man.
Vince has got about 40 years on top of everyone. No matter who comes along, whatnot, they can only take from him, learn from him, and make the best product. I mean, he's given the blueprint for everyone to be successful.
But nobody's in it. Nobody's got the guts or as innovative as he is. Even though we like the blueprint, they still don't take those chances, right?
Nobody wants to put the time in.
Yeah,
and that's the problem, right? Like I said, and we've always stated this on our show. The people who are successful are the ones that work hard and don't give up and don't stop trying. Are we successful? Yeah, we are successful in a lot of ways, but that's based on the fact that we make it work.
I think we're pretty successful considering we're two guys coming from Vancouver. Some of the guests that we've had on that we never, before we started, I would say, no, we're not getting this guy. No, we're not getting that guy. And we ended up getting him. So I think that's pretty successful. And I'm talking wrestling, boxing, and
hey, we get to do what we love to do, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe it's not going as fast as we want or what have you, but the reality of it is, if you look at us, and we're coming on our 2-year, brother. Can you believe it? We're almost 2 years here. And just kind of reflecting on it, I think we've done a great job. And I think we can only just keep going up and up and up. I mean, there's no way down for us. So but that being said, it's just an example of working hard. This didn't happen overnight for Vinnie Mac. This will not happen overnight for us.
Exactly.
I mean, if you think about it, he went 10 years and almost lost everything before he turned the corner. I don't think we'll lose everything, but we will turn that corner. But you just have
Speaking of turning the corner, thanks for bringing that up. And I was thinking that the other day. So yeah, when he became Evil McMahon, there, the evil boss, he want to punch in the face. He ran with that screw job and made it money off that. I don't know why Tony Khan doesn't run with some sort of angle like that when he was arguing with CM Punk and the Young Bucks and having all that beef. He could have came out there and done something like that. I'm a billionaire kid. I'm a spoiled brat. He could have really been the antagonist and really, I don't think he has that in him, but he could have done something with it. He dropped the ball there.
Okay, I'm gonna drop you here because I think I have an answer to this. Okay, what do we always say that Tony Khan works for? Who does Tony Khan cater to?
The independent wrestling community.
Okay, that's the reason why.
Yeah,
because they will say, "Oh, you're just copying Vince now. You're trying to emulate the storyline that they created in the '90s," sort of a deal. Even if it's a good idea, even if they want to see it, because he doesn't want them to turn on him.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
He kind of boxed himself in here.
So that's probably why the reason is. I think the closest that you probably saw to it, and we have to do a better job of AEW as a wrestling show, and we will, guys and girls. We promise you. We talked about this. We're going to pick up our game in terms of covering the product and having a better understanding, opposed to us just coming on here and talking crap about them all the time. 99% of what we say is not wrong, but we need to watch the product more, to be fair. And that's on us, and we're going to do that. We're going to give you a bit more of an AEW insight from our position. So yeah, in the weeks to come, we're going to be doing that. But I think that's the biggest problem. A lot of these guys don't want to work hard. Okay, now take nothing away from
that's what it is.
I don't think it's a question of him not working hard. He has a lot of properties that he works for, but the big but, man, and I'm not talking Nia Jax, but I'm talking the big but. The big but is this: McMahon came from nothing. Yes, he took over his dad's promotion, but it was a regional promotional at the time. It was only doing as good as all the other promotions that were out there at the time, in the independent in the territory scene. So for Vince to take the product and to build it, that's one man doing it. Rashad Khan, he's one guy who worked his ass off to build that empire, right? Now, if Rashad Khan was running AEW, I'm sure it'd be a very, very different product from a very different perspective, from a very different kind of growth and idea, because he understands the value of money. I'm taking nothing away from Tony Khan. Tony hasn't had to work a day in his life.
No,
that where you really had to work hard and earn, where you had nothing,
no, you're right.
right?
You
And
see
that's
it how he runs his show, how he runs his business.
the difference.
Even Jericho, who works for him, said we could all. Some of the guys back there could all learn from working from a taskmaster like Vinny back there. It would definitely change things. When even he's saying it, and Tony still doesn't tighten the reins. I know he's just not. Doesn't have that personality. He's a nice guy, but I mean, he's got to do something different. I'm not sure what, but it's not working.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, I watched AEW a little bit this Wednesday, and I still come back to that same thing. And now I got to watch it more, to be fair. But every time you turn it on, it just feels so disjointed. You don't know what's going on. Like, you know who the characters are, you know who's who. But the reality of it is, the storylines are just so disjointed from week to week. You don't know what's going on. Whereas I can turn on WWE and there's that continuity. It's not always good. And we'll get into that.
You know what's going on story-wise, at least.
Right? We know what's happening story-wise overall, generally speaking. Even if I miss a week, it's not, from week to week on AEW, I just feel it's just completely disjointed. And the continuing, it's that continuance. Maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm used to stories. Maybe I'm that guy who still enjoys watching commercials. I appreciate commercials. It's a 30-second story to get a point across. One of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Tony's catering to the younger generation a little bit ADHD crowd, quicker stories.
I think the world is just catering to it, though. Think about it. I mean, we let's look at sports in general. Baseball has a pitching clock now. Yeah, okay, I don't have a problem with it, but I didn't have a problem if it wasn't there either, because I love baseball.
Yeah, me too.
It's that appreciation. I look at cricket. Cricket used to be a 5-day match, a 3-day match, and a 1-day match. Okay, now they're making it where you can have a match done in 2.5, 3 hours because of the attention span, right?
They want the younger kids to get into it.
Yeah. So I mean, we live in a YouTube Shorts, TikTok generation, and that's digging deeper and deeper and deeper into the psyche of all these kids.
Yep.
It's not their fault that they're creating these things. It's us as parents that have to do a better job in maintaining it. So anyone complaining about it, you got to look at yourself first and dig deep inside yourself and figure it out. Straight up, plain simple.
Yep.
I'm not blaming TikTok. I'm not blaming YouTube. I'm not blaming them. It's us.
It's hard though, because you can't really get away from it. It's everything they watch and do is all in short form, right?
It is, but at the same time, it's you can't take it away. But what we can do is regulate.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about regulation. Okay. So for example, I make the little one, it's kind of ironic, and I'm like, hey, watch TV. Stop using the unit. But then I realized, you know what, bro? TV was my iPad.
Yeah, it's all the same. Just
right?
Different now. But yeah.
You wanted to punish me as a kid, you took TV away.
Yeah, now it's the iPads.
Now it's the iPads, right? So it's like I sit there and I'm watching television and I'm looking at her and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you got so many channels. So what I try to do with her now is I'm getting her into sitcoms.
That's good.
Well, it's a half an hour long. You got to focus, right? Like at this rate, what's the point of taking you to a movie?
Yeah, they don't like sitting through long movies anymore.
Right? Now, sitting through long things, last night was the 1600 episode of Raw. They didn't really make a mention of it on the program.
No.
It was a go-home show. I get it. Not much of a go-home show. We are still sitting at 2 matches and 2 Rumble matches for this card, for the entirety of this card, which leads me to believe that not much is going to be added to this Royal Rumble going this Saturday night.
Maybe a women's match from SmackDown might throw on there, but other than that, I don't think there'll be much.
Well, I've noticed that they're using SmackDown to run matches that they would normally have run on the pay-per-view. Like, for example, you have the Women Tag Team Champions fighting against Kabuki Warriors on SmackDown. That's one match that they've heavily advertised. Kabuki Warriors were on Raw last night to kind of, pump it up a little bit. So you had that. This is probably the first Royal Rumble I'm looking at where only 4 people on the women's side have been announced that we know for sure they're going to be there. And off the top of my dome, Cody, Drew, and Punk are
Yeah,
the
Punk.
only guys that I know that are guaranteed, which opens the door for a lot. Now, most of the guys on the roster are going to be in the pay-per-view
Yeah.
or on the Royal Rumble. Most of the girls are going to be there as well. But before we get into that, you had a bit of a bad taste in your mouth with with one promo that took place.
Yeah, you're referring to the Rhodes versus CM Punk promo in the ring. Yeah, it was 13 minutes, way too long, and boring, uninspired, lack of passion. The last couple minutes, they picked it up a little bit, but it's too much banter back and forth. And just kind of, I don't know, they just didn't seem interested. I don't know if they have any. They don't have great chemistry together. When guys have chemistry, you feel it. When Rock and Austin are there, you feel it. You know what I mean? Like Stone Cold, man, you feel it. That I don't know what they were doing. They should have cut that short by about 5-6 minutes. They don't need 13 minutes in there. And I just found it mundane, and I was excited for it at first, but then the first few minutes, like, this is going nowhere. I'm not sure what happened there. If that was scripted or unscripted, either way, they got to do a better job of that, because that wasn't very good. Especially from two of your top guys, they should deliver. Especially the last Raw before the Rumble to get you pumped up. They didn't sell me on anything. I don't know. I didn't get it. They kept talking about their parents, their dads. We've heard that. How many times have we heard that story? Let's get on with it. I get it. What he's trying to do, like, your dad did this for me, but it's like, I don't know. It was boring. Too long.
I think one, we already know all the history between the two of them. So from our perspective, I mean, we're older wrestling fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know where all these guys came from. We saw them debut in the WWE. We saw Punk on the independent scene before he came to the show. So I think a lot of what we saw last night, I'm not saying you're wrong in any way, Mr. Michaels. All I'm saying is I think what we got was something for the younger fans to kind of get them up to pace and up to speed with who these two guys are, what's so important about them. Could it be done a little differently, perhaps, from your perspective? Yeah, I could see that.
13-14 minutes. There was no energy or passion. Both like seemed like they didn't want to be out there.
There was a couple. There was a couple.
Should have brought that home way faster.
Maybe perhaps, but there were a couple of good things that came out of it. You know, one, him referring to himself as CM Punk, more taking the root of it, taking the shots of it. But a lot of it was just grooming. It was just kind of filling everyone in. Let's think about it because after you said that to me, I had to think about it a little bit. Okay, Punk's been here since Survivor Series. He's had one dark match. He hasn't touched anyone. He hasn't done anything. This is the first interaction in almost 3 months since he's been here with Cody. So, you know, I thought this should have happened earlier, opposed to this night, to be more effective. I think you were ramming it down people's throats too quickly before the show, which I completely saw that as being a problem for this promo. I expected some fireworks, but maybe they kind of held off on things because
not even fighting, just a little bit of passion in your voice.
No, fireworks. Yeah. Just some more fireworks.
Move around. Like, it's like when you go see a rock and roll show, you get a band of guys that are too cool to have energy. They stand there and they stand over the mic and they're too cool to be there. That's what I felt yesterday.
The Pet Shop Boys. It's like watching the Pet Shop Boys in concert.
It's like these guys were too cool. You know, CM Punk's out in jogging pants. He's looking like a bum. You know, I get that's his gimmick. I get all that, but it's like he even pointed it out. But it's like, I don't know. I just found lack of passion and a lack of energy. And this is two of your top guys before you're supposed to go to Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
they deliver that. It was a dud.
You know, if that was the first interaction, and if everything goes the way it's supposed to go, I bet we'll get a better mix of these guys. Maybe they were on the spot. Who knows? There's so many.
But this is what I'm watching. Is I think to myself, this is why Vince McMahon never put Cody in the main event, never put CM Punk the headline WrestleMania, because of this kind of stuff, right? Like, I get it. There are not many other top guys around, but it was uninspiring. They were uninspired, and yeah.
You took the words right away from me, bro. Because I mean, at the end of the
reason why he's mid-card Rhodes.
Well, this would be my rebuttal to you. Like, how many times can you keep putting the same 4 guys up in there, right? Like, you gotta look, man. I realize that we have to take things with a grain of salt here a little bit, because I mean, at the end of the day, if we don't give the opportunity to some of these other guys, you know what? We're going to be stuck in this mundane little circle of the same guys over and over and over and over and over.
CM Punk's 45. He's had a lot of opportunities for a lot of years. Let somebody else. I get it. He's hot right now, but like.
Well, I mean, the only other guy that I would have put there was Gunther, but he's kind of already busy doing his thing, right? I mean, let's see how it plays out. We got the Rumble coming on Saturday. Let's see how that plays out. We got a couple months before Mania.
Yep.
That being
So
said,
like if you would have Rock and Austin in there, you would have Hogan and Flair in there instantly. They
yeah,
would just put
no,
like they just have so much energy. It's like you can't
for
stop
sure.
them. But these guys, like what the heck?
Yeah, but different time, bro. Like it's just a different time in the
But
world.
even right now, you could throw Rock and Austin out there right now, and they would
I'm
just
sure you could,
no script.
but then what?
These guys are.
But then
it doesn't
what?
matter. You're in the ring. You got to entertain. That was not entertaining. That was just two lazy guys being lazy, and it was just their body language. It's just like it was something was off there. I don't know if they were pissed off because they couldn't say what they wanted. Was it scripted? I don't know the details, but something.
You know what? I'm gonna go back and watch it again because I don't think I pulled that much out that you did. But then again,
too long, 13, 14 minutes of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Even your bird disagrees.
Yeah, this is why I've always said Cody Rhodes, like I don't see the superstar in him or Punk myself. And when I watch that stuff, they just don't make you believe. It just, I don't know, just didn't feel right to me. Something was off. That's my take.
I don't think Cody appeals to us, but he's appealing to a lot of other people.
That's as well. Give him that.
Right. So I mean, we come from a different generation. We come from a different time. Mm-hmm. Literally, I mean, in just in the time and in the annals of wrestling time, we come from a different era.
Yep.
Right? We're those two old guys from the Muppet Show.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? That's who we are, literally.
I've noticed without Vinny backstage, I've noticed a lack of intensity in not just these guys, and a lot of the promos and a lot of the energy in the ring. Some guys are taking, I don't want to say taking the night off, but they don't feel like you can slack out there and go back and get reprimanded. You know what I mean? Like Vinny, hey, wait, he'd be on you now. It's like, well, I had a mental day. I didn't feel like it. And
here's an example.
I noticed in this.
Here's an example of that. So Gunther, who's flying high right now.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Had the greatest flub in the history of Raw, in my opinion. Well, not the greatest, but
last night with Seth.
Last night with Seth when he came out, it says this Sunday I will win. Look how fast that graphic came up in the corner of the screen saying Royal Rumble this Saturday. Even Michael Cole and the gang were all over it within seconds, right? Like, I mean, if Vince was backstage, I would love to see that interaction.
He could have been choked.
Right. But again, it's just a different time. It's a different era. We're in a different world of wrestling. It's not our wrestling anymore. Right. No. We can sit here and complain about it, and we're warranted because of what we expect and what we like and what we saw. Like if you think about it, it's our generation that built the company to the point where it's able to do the things it's doing today.
Yeah.
Right. No matter what we say, they're going to continue doing what they're going to do, right? So I mean, we'll just critique it as
but they're not attracting new fans though by doing this. This is the problem.
They
lost 4 million people.
Of our generation. But they'll always have the kids and they'll always have new fans. Not going anywhere. If it was a dying brand, they wouldn't have signed the Netflix
deal. No, it's not a dying brand. No, it's still hot, but I'm saying it's not what it was. And it's just they're not getting. If you go into the schools now, which I'm in there all the time, you don't see anybody wearing wrestling shirts anymore.
But it's across the board. But
that's what I mean. So they've somewhere along the way we've lost the new generation. Like this kids, like our kids' age, like I'm talking like 13 to 19-year-olds. You take 100 of them and ask them what they like better, UFC or WWE. 99% of them will tell you UFC.
Yeah,
so they gotta find that star that can bring those kids and make it cool again.
Well, I mean, and they come in ebbs and flows. Who would have thought that John Cena would have been that guy?
But even when Cena was there, we still only had 2 million watching. I'm talking like the 4 to 5 million. We got to get some of those back.
Okay, but I think those days are gone, and I think that completely ties in with everything we've talked about in terms of attention spans, in terms of what's available to people out there. Like a lot of what we saw in the 90s that we love, that you're grasping on, which I grasp on a lot, we didn't have any other outlets.
But look at football though, they've gained fans. They get 30, 40 million people watching. They're gaining fans as they go. We're losing fans as we go. And I don't know how to fix that, but something's got to change.
It'll come again. It will come again. It's ebbs and flows. It all depends on, and you know what? I think with them evolving with the times, going to the streaming platform.
Well, they're always evolving.
They're doing right. So it's that constant evolving that's going to bring that next guy. Who he is, we don't know. Who she is, we don't know. right? But I mean, we just gotta bite down, man. I mean, it's not our wrestling anymore. We're
No, I
covering.
get it, but they got to find a way. Like they're not connecting with the teenagers, right? And the young kids the IWC guys. But there's a big gap missing, and the
Yeah,
UFC is connecting with that gap.
yeah,
So
and I'm sure they will figure it out here eventually. It's just gonna take some time, and we just got. I get it, but I mean, those 4 to 5 million fans that they lost are guys our age that don't want to watch a PG program anymore,
no, I know, but
right?
like they got to find a way because that was all high school kids. They got to find a way to get some of the high school kids. I think, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah,
And they'll wear a John Cena shirt.
I think, I think, I think the problem is that kids grew up way too fast
Yeah.
with the internet. Like, okay, I'm not trying to be rude or disparaging, and I apologize to any families listening. Back in the day when I was a kid, if you wanted to look at pornography or the deviant arts, you had to get a magazine or you had to get an old VHS tape from a friend or someone who had it or have it in. I mean, growing up as a kid, and I don't condone this to anybody, but hey, man, we're young dudes, we're young bucks, pardon the pun. But I mean, one guy would have a magazine that he'd steal from his dad. We'd all rip the pages out and take a page each, and that was our content.
Yeah.
Whereas today, and me working in the school systems as much as I have, when you have 10-year-old kids who are coming up to you and telling you, oh, this is what I saw on the internet, that's a big problem there too. So there's a lot
a combination of a lot of stuff. Yeah.
right. So that's just that. Okay, Seth Rollins. Now he tore his meniscus, and I don't think this is storyline. This is legit. He's gonna go on the shelf here. They're not gonna strip him of the title. They're gonna keep it on him, and I guess we're looking at one of these guys coming out of the Royal Rumble to face him at Mania. Your thoughts?
I think by in 3 or 4 months he'll be good enough to do Mania. So that's why they're doing it. So
are you
good that he gets to keep it? He deserves it.
Are you okay for him keeping the strap, or do you think
Absolutely.
It would be
keep it.
more entertaining to see, say, Cody and Punk fight for the title at Elimination Chamber, say, and then that way at least one of those guys can go to the Rumble? I almost have a feeling what I'm going to see at the Rumble this year, and we haven't seen it in a while, is a double win.
Possible. I'm fine with Seth keeping it because you want to see him pin. Like if he couldn't wrestle for a year, then okay, but he's going to be fine in a few months for Mania. Then keep it on him.
Okay, all right.
Because Roman Reigns doesn't have to fight all the time. He gets to keep it. So why would we change it here?
Well, that's the thing, right? So I'm hoping that they do that.
They will. Seems that way.
All right, man. I'll tell you what. Why don't we make some predictions
Yeah,
here?
let's do it.
We don't have much to work with, but let's start with the Women's Rumble. Who do you think will come out of that? And any surprises? Are you any surprise predictions?
Well, we don't even know how many's all in there, right? I mean, that's the thing. We don't even know the roster. So I think I wouldn't see why Rhea Ripley would win it. If she's in the Rumble, Rhea's going to win it.
Well, Rhea's a champion.
Why couldn't she win it and still be champ?
Well, they tried that with Charlotte Flair already once.
Because Rhea's the most hottest woman wrestler right now. I don't see anybody else taking that. Like, why couldn't she be champ, be so dominant? She won the Rumble too. And you can still have somebody face her. I know the winner gets to go to Mania to fight the champ, but she could still win and still have another opponent against her. It could be somebody else. It could be anything could happen in wrestling. So I don't see why it wouldn't be Rhea Ripley. Just because she's been so dominant and what they're doing with Roman Reigns, they're kind of trying to make her the female Reigns, and I got a feeling that she's going to win it.
So you're going Rhea Ripley?
I'm going Rhea Ripley, yeah.
Okay,
for the dominant.
I'm going to go either Bayley or Becky.
Becky, yeah.
Right, but I would not be surprised if Bayley wins. Do not be surprised if Bayley wins.
I'd rather see Becky win it than Bayley. I don't think Bayley's all that great of an in-ring performer like Becky can, and I'd rather if it's not going to be Rhea, then I'd rather see Becky take it.
Kind of interesting because there was one point where people were making the comparison the other way that Becky wasn't up to par and Bayley was so much better.
Oh, I see it the other way, but you could be right. It can go either way. I just feel that I know Rhea. It's not likely, but I just feel the domination that she's doing. I've got a feeling to keep that going, keep her strong, and let her win it and keep the belt. Like win with the belt.
My reason for Bayley is this: she keeps talking that I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. I'm going to come and beat Rhea Ripley up, not making any issue or any mention to Io Sky in any way. I almost feel just the way that they're treating her in the stories and how they're acting out against her and whatnot. Like we're going to see the face turn here with her eventually, probably after Mania. Yeah. But I have a feeling if Bayley wins, she's going to turn it and say, I want Io's title.
Yeah, that could be.
Right.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I'm trying to play the stories out of my head to how this would kind of work. Right now,
Yeah.
any surprise entrance that you can think of that off the top of your dome?
I don't think there'll be any big names, but you're going to see like Trish Stratus and Lita and them come out there if you want to call those surprises, I guess. But I don't think there's any crazy big name out there that's going to come out that I'm aware of that I could think of. You?
Off the top of my dome, the only person I can think of is Naomi coming back.
Yeah, something like that, I guess.
Like she lost her strap. She lost her strap, her TNA Women's Championship this past weekend. So that usually is an indication that they're about to make a return or something like that. Outside of Naomi, I can't really see.
Lita and Trish will come out there.
Well, I don't even see Lita coming out. She's injured, and then Trish just had that run. So it kind of takes.
But they don't even. I don't even know if they even have 30 women on the roster. You got to fill this out, right?
Well, they have the NXT girls as well, so you're going to get a bunch of
There'll be
those
some of them,
that
yeah.
come up of there. I can see Roxanne Perez coming out. I could see Helen. What's her name? Haley, whatever her name is, Fallon. She could come out there as well. There's a couple other girls that could come out as well from NXT. So I think they can fill it up with what they have. On the men's side, though, who do you have?
For surprise?
No, for winning.
Oh, for winning? You know, the obvious choice is CM Punk. Everybody's saying that, right? And then I hope it's not, because that's just too obvious. It wouldn't make sense. I think they're going to give it to Cody Rhodes. He's going to go back to back and be the first guy since Stone Cold to go back to back, because they're really playing the story up. He wants to get that title shot. I know he won it last year and he already has one, but why not let him have back to back? So I'm taking Cody Rhodes as a slightly underdog, but yes, most likely it's CM Punk, but I'm going with Cody Rhodes. Who are you going with?
I am going with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. I'm going to do that one. I'm going to pull it out this way, where this is going to become a triple threat at Mania somehow. I think it's going to come down between Drew, him, and Cody as the final three guys in the ring. But that being said, bro, Brock could come back.
Might. The only problem with doing that double win is Cody and CM Punk are the most athletic guys, especially that CM Punk is mid-40s and broken down. I don't think they're going to be able to land at the same time. So that might screw up this whole double win thing. This isn't Logan Paul and Ricochet here. You know what I mean? This is Cody Rhodes.
But you have
going to do that land at the same time.
You have one more show before Mania to correct that, if that happens.
But do you want to club the whole Royal Rumble because some old guy like CM Punk couldn't time the same time as Cody Rhodes and screw up the ending? I don't think they're going to risk that. So I mean, one of them will win. I don't see the double win just because you can't trust them to do it at the same time. You screw up the Royal Rumble landing like that for the win. It happened before, but like a double win like that's going to be memes all over the place. It's going to be getting dogged. Like,
yeah, no, I get it. But I have a feeling we're gonna. Okay, so you're going Cody?
I'm going Cody. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go Punk. Okay,
you could be right. Could be a double win. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't.
But what but just for the benefit of predictions, I'll go Punk.
Yeah.
But in terms of Mania, I just feel we're gonna get it. I don't know why. I hope I'm wrong, but I think we're gonna get a three-way dance for the title, at Mania for that night one. So, yeah.
With Seth or with Roman?
With Seth, Roman's program set.
Yeah, you don't mess with Roman and Rock in a three-way. Yeah, you could be right. Could be a three-way.
I think Roman Rock is set, and if that's any indication, since we're talking about the Rock, let's really let's talk about that really quickly. Rock is now on the board of directors of TKO. That was also announced today. Rock also gets full control of his name and his likeness as a part of this deal. Vince McMahon's comment on it was this, I'm just paraphrasing: The Rock brings a lot in terms of sports entertainment and business acumen and being creative and creating new products. That's going to help them. All right. Same thing that Artie said. Artie said the exact same thing. Let's be honest. We talked about this off the air. Yeah, Rock brings all those great qualities, but Rock is more of a
brand ambassador. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Smart business.
Right. You put Rock on a TKO banner, that's just going to be sick. But there's more to this. If you think about it very quietly, the XFL and the USFL have merged as well, which is a Rock property. Right. So there's a lot here at play. I mean, you got the Saudis doing what they're doing over there. This TKA group is trying to build something over on this side, to not necessarily combat them, but to build their brand and protect the North American side of it, right? So that's kind of an interesting point as well. But
It's kind of a little bit of a bounce back year for the Raw. A lot of people aren't saying this, but like obviously him and Vinny are tight. It's like a dad to Vince. Like I know he has a dad, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously they're always going to work together. But here's the thing: Black Adam movie flopped, so Young Rock got canceled. So he's a little bit, it wasn't exactly his best year. Now he's back. He's doing this. XFL didn't do that well. So
you know what?
He's just on the board as a friend to
help
pump up.
And Young Rock was good. I don't know.
Watched it,
dude, you got to watch it. Some of it's hilarious. Like even up to this match that we're having right now, like they made reference to it last year.
Oh, okay.
In the show, there's a scene where Young Rock is sitting, like he's teenager Rock, like he's high school Rock, or no, college Rock. And this is when he was with Miami. And he's sitting with the family, and there's this kid hanging off of him, right? He goes, "Oh, that's my cousin Joe." Right? And he's all like, when are we going to fight? He says to him, he goes, "Oh, if we fight, it can only be held at WrestleMania. There's no other place that you and I can fight." And he's hanging off of him, and you hear this little guy saying, "Acknowledge me, acknowledge me." So, I mean, the seeds were planted almost 2 years ago for this, or 3 years ago. So it's going to be interesting. Plus, the way The Rock talked about it, to have a seat at this table. So, I mean, they keep making these little remarks and quirks that are just building up to this match. Like, yeah, you're the head of the table, but I'm the head of the whole nation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be an interesting match. You don't need a title for it, but I guess they'll put it on the line anyways, just for the fact of the matter.
Yeah, to give it that extra kick.
But,
the question is, can The Rock still go? Because the last time he wrestled, he was gassed out. He didn't look very good against John Cena. He doesn't have to do much but punch and kick here, a couple rock bottoms, fight outside, hit the table, hit some chairs. So as long as he can stand out 15 minutes,
I think a lot of it's dependent on Roman Reigns and how he carries the match. He's going to be the general in there. He's going to want controlling it. He's the one, directing the whole thing from inside. This is on Roman. I won't put it on Rock. Rock's been gone away too long. Rock can have his input. They can discuss the match. They can do whatever they want. But the reality of it is most matches take place in the ring, and they're determined in the ring in terms of what they're going to do. They can come out with their high spots. They know what they want to do, what they want to accomplish. But in terms of getting there,
this match is more about the story, though. Even they go 10 minutes, couple punches, couple kicks, throw them through a table, pin them. It's more about the story and the hype.
A lot of people say, and I've also said, that one of the best matches they've ever been privy to was The Rock and Hogan at Mania. Okay, I was in the crowd for that. I saw it. Now the match itself was complete garbage.
That wasn't bad.
No, dude. The best part of that match was the crowd. Just like the actual match itself was nothing to write home about. It's everything around that match that made it so spectacular and so awesome, right? This is the opportunity for that. Don't expect a great match, in my opinion. No,
it's not going to be a great. Nobody's expecting a great.
But match. That's what I mean. Everything around it will make it, water cooler talk the next morning. Or
the thing is, Roman doesn't quite have the mic skills or the charisma of a Rock and a Hogan. So I don't know if he can get it quite to that level. But
Rock can carry that portion of it.
Yeah.
And Roman's done a hell of a lot better since the John Cena time. I mean, Cena has taught him a lot. He helped him a lot, in terms of the promo cutting and what have you. So he's come a long way. I think The Rock can hold his own for the most part. I think if you look
at it, he's 53, 54 now. He's an old man, but he can be good enough for 10, 15 minutes. So
exactly. But don't expect the greatest match, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying.
It's all about the talk, the stare down.
Okay. Any predictions for people coming out for the men's side? I have 3.
I don't think it'd be anything groundbreaking. I mean, all the guys that we think would be groundbreaking are all too old, but you'll see like Brock Lesnar. Maybe John Cena might come out. Who knows? Maybe throw an X-Pac, somebody like that. I don't know. Some guys like that, but some guys can still move.
I see Brock coming out to confront Gunther, maybe eliminate Gunther or have them eliminate each other. That sets up them because everyone keeps talking. That's the road.
Omos will come out too.
Omos will be there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he won't last long, but he'll come out. But in terms of surprises, I think the three that we're gonna get this year is one X-Pac. You already mentioned him. He's been training. He wants
And
to
he's
come back.
talking about it, yeah.
He's talking about it. So we got Pac potentially coming out. I think Sean Spears, aka Ty Dillinger, Canadian, he'll probably come back. He just left AEW, and Andrade. I think Andrade will make his return to the WWE via Royal Rumble. So those are mine.
That's the thing. All this hype about Andrade, like he wasn't that great in WWE. He did absolutely nothing in AEW. And I hate to be so negative on it. The only thing the guy ever did was marry Charlotte Flair. Now all of a sudden we're talking Andrade, and who cares? He wasn't that great ever wherever he's been. We're so overvaluing the guy just because he married Charlotte Flair, and he might come out, but like for me, it's like whatever.
I get it.
He's
I
a
get it.
low card guy at best.
Well, I think that's what
He
we're
did
getting at
nothing
here,
in
though.
AEW, nothing. You can't always blame Tony Khan. You got to sometimes, as Vinny would say, grab the brass ring, take the mic, and go extra in the match and make the fans love you. Make it so we have no choice but to book. He's never done that.
Well, I mean, the same could be said for Rusev or Miro. The same,
Him too, yeah.
There's a lot of guys that have gone over there and just thought it would be better for them, and it just.
But this is the thing, though: is these guys have been cut for a reason. Why do we keep bringing back guys? Hit Row and all these guys that got cut. There's a reason why they've been cut. Stop trying to bring back guys that you know have no value, won't do anything. I get CM Punk would have get that, but Hit Row and Andrade, I don't get that.
Well, again, I think we're getting to a point with the Royal Rumble where I don't think anything's really surprising anymore. Like there's not enough guys to bring back. A lot of the guys that I'd probably want to see are too old now.
Yeah.
And we already kind of already seen them, right? Like if you watch the network right now, I think Royal Rumble 2008, 2007 was probably the last time that we saw some of the guys that I really wanted to see. And when they did come out, they didn't look great, and it made me sad because why would you come out looking like this, right?
Yeah.
Like Snuka, when he came out, he just looked old. And this guy was
all the down, all the bodies taking so much beating.
No, I get it.
But there's probably a couple guys we haven't even thought about that might come out. There's always a surprise that they keep under wraps, so we'll see.
I mean,
I hope so.
I hope so too. I think the last couple of Rumbles have been lackluster in that regards, in terms of giving us something like, oh, jump out of our seat moment. But yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at with the world of wrestling.
You got Punk, I got Rhodes. We'll see. Hopefully it's Drew. Maybe it's somebody we're not thinking about.
So you got Punk, you got Rhodes. I got Punk. You got Rhea, which is interesting, and I've taken Bailey. That leaves us with two matches: Logan Paul, Kevin Owens.
Should be a pretty good match. Logan Paul all day. There's no way Kevin Owens is beating Logan Paul at Royal Rumble. He's too hot with the prime drink. He's too hot on social media. Should be a good match. Logan with the victory. I'm actually really, really looking forward to this match. I got Logan. You?
Yeah, I'm going Logan as well. We're too close to WrestleMania. I think you want to bring him into WrestleMania as the champion, and whoever he gets into a feud with will probably be the guy that takes the title from him at Mania. He holds the belt till Mania, in my opinion. So yeah, but that being said, he's going to have to work really, really hard to keep this title in this match. So we're both in agreement there. Wouldn't be surprised if Kevin beats him, but I would be.
No, I see it as being the way. Why would Kevin need it?
I would only be surprised if we weren't so close to Mania, right? That's the thing.
If Kevin does, then I would consider that bad booking. Why Logan's such a bona fide worldwide global star. You give him to some guy like Kevin Owens, who's cool among the wrestling community. Outside of that, nobody knows who he is. With the prime being UFC's main drink and so much benefit of Logan just carrying that belt around, you don't need Kevin. Don't need it.
No,
we'll see.
Again, that's why we watch it, right? Okay, so Roman wins. What else do you want me to say? It's just a question of who he pins or who pins who. I think that's more, right, dude. That's the prediction there. Who loses though? Who gets pinned?
LA Knight.
I'm gonna go AJ.
Could be. Should be a good match.
I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun either way, right? It's just all about, like I said, we already know who's going to win. I think the prediction here for us is who gets pinned.
Yeah, I'm going to say LA Knight.
I'm going to say AJ Styles.
Yeah, it should be a good match. All four guys are fairly decent, and But yeah, it's too obvious that Roman has to have the belt in the Mania, right? Something might happen in the match where you'll see a feud come out of this match where I think we're going to see LA Knight and Orton at Mania, maybe Orton style. Somebody's going to cross somebody, cost in the match, and we'll get a match out of this for Mania. Well, whoever it'll be.
Well, keep
Styles
in mind,
Orton,
it's only
Styles
January. We
Orton,
still have
right?
February, we still have March, so there's 2 more months to go till this all goes down, right? Everything is everything.
This match will springboard another feud, though.
It's going to springboard a lot of stuff. We're hopefully this Saturday kind of delivers. Kind of like I said, they've had a long time to build this card. Going into it the week of, to know that we only have 2 real matches and 2 Rumble matches. They've had since Survivor Series to build this card.
But if you get those 2 Royal Rumble matches, they're going to be 2 hours right there. Maybe 2.5 hours. You had all the extra time in there. Then these other 2 matches, we're almost over 3 hours. So you can't go too long either. 4 hours.
No. I have no problem with it. It's just kind of interesting and how it's changed. Like in the past, we'd have like 3-4 matches in the Rumble matches, sort of a deal. So it's just kind of like an interesting dynamic. It tells you how long these matches are going to go too.
And Hogan will be there. It's in Florida. He's going to come out,
right?
Maybe be backstage or say something. You got to have.
Hogan is celebrating his 40th year anniversary as well. That was heavily publicized and promoted on Raw. I think yesterday or the day before, the Raw marks the anniversary of when he beat the Iron Sheik.
And he said, who knows, you might see me out there. I know he's not coming on the Rumble, he can barely walk, but he'll be backstage or something to do a little vignette with them or something. He'll be there. It's in his hometown.
100%. All right, man. I tell you what, let's wrap this puppy up here. Let's call it a day. We've talked a lot, my man.
Yeah.
I love this. I don't know about you, but I love doing this.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. All right, so we will be together for the Royal Rumble. Am I correct?
Yep.
All right, so we are going to work hard at getting some live content out. Maybe we'll go live during the Royal Rumble, watch along with us, listen to us talk while we drink our drinks and enjoy our snacks and watch the show. On that note, Mr. Michaels, thank you, brother, for joining us here today, for joining us every time. My name is Bobby Sampson.
We forgot one thing though, top 5.
No, why don't we? I would love. Well, here, let's do this. I want to do the top 5 as a separate segment going forward.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's record this. Let's send this. Let's put this out, and then we'll put the top 5 in. I think that is a bit more fun. We can create its own little niche little market. You know what I'm saying?
Get your thinking cap on because I got a good one for you.
Awesome, brother, man. On that note, as we discussed the show and the path of it, so we tore down the 4th wall for everybody, man. You can see behind the scenes of Samp and Chance. We got nothing to hide. My name is Bobby Sampson, and I'm joined with my man, Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. Those boys are going to be coming here. No, that's the Rolling Stones. I apologize. July 5th. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, girls, we have a really cool show for you guys on Thursday. We'll leave it at that. Interview time, first interview of the year. So make sure to tune into that. Also, guys and girls, we got the Royal Rumble this Saturday night, not Sunday. Thank you, Gunther. So up until then, before that happens, guys, please, the weather's better. Please take care of yourselves, take care of your families. Just give yourselves the extra time to get where you need to go. Samp and Chance are out.